community values,
community involvement,
community improvements,
community activism,
community voice,
embrace your civic duty. Vote. This message is brought to you by the Atlanta City Council.
I'm Phyllis Jackson. Welcome to Stay at Home Connect.
Officials with the CDC redefine close contact as relates to coronavirus. For several months, the agency determined close contact to be 15 minutes within 6 feet of someone who tested positive. Now it's changed to shorter but repeated contact that adds up to 15 minutes over a 24-hour period. And Pfizer plans to have results from its 44,000-member trial by the end of the month. Moderna completes enrollment of 30,000 participants for the final phase of its COVID-19 vaccine trial. Officials say the pharmaceutical company could know whether the vaccine is effective by late November. Pfizer expects to have results from its 44,000-member trial by the end of the month. Target shells out more cash for its employees working through the pandemic. The retail giant is handing out bonuses of $200 to its more than 350,000 eligible frontline workers. This is the fourth COVID-19 pandemic bonus for hourly and seasonal workers and will be distributed in early November. Coronavirus has even impacted travel for Santa Claus. Macy's flagship New York store will have to do without jolly old St. Nick this year. Store officials say the massive crowds just won't be safe for visitors or Santa, but he will stop by for a televised appearance at the end of the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Atlanta City Council President Felicia Moore shares fond memories of the first time she voted in an election. Don't miss the story on medium.com/@Atlanta City Council.
That's a wrap. We'll see you on the next edition of Stay at Home Connect.
community values, community involvement,
community improvements,
community activism,
community voice.
Embrace your civic duty. Use your power. Vote. This message is brought to you by the Atlanta City Council.
I was just blessed to be able to be on the wall, not knowing that I was going to be here until a couple of days ago, and somebody sent me a photograph. But I mean, you know, I knew Hattie Watkins, who is the mother of Willie Watkins, and who helped to get the funeral home here in West End. So most of the people on the wall are people that I know, people that I've worked with. So these are people that have been committed to the West End and Westview communities. But even with that, they've been committed overall to the city of Atlanta in terms of making this city better. And I don't know of any other place, now that I'm going through my mind, where there are women that are being honored. So this is truly something great here in this city.
So glad you could join us. Welcome to Stay at Home Connect. I'm Phyllis Jackson.
13 employees of Fulton County's Election Preparation Center test positive for coronavirus. A statement from the county's website says 2 initial employee cases led to additional testing, where 11 more were discovered. The Department of Registration and Elections is working with the county's Board of Health and the Department of Real Estate and Asset Management on mitigation, daily rapid tests for employees, disinfection, and ventilation measures. Officials say none of the affected workers had any contact with voters. Just 1 week after providing in-person classes, Cobb County schools are seeing cases of COVID-19. There have been several cases reported from 9 elementary schools in Marietta, Ackworth, Austell, and Smyrna. The dean of Emory University's School of Public Health, Dr. James Curran, says when it comes to coronavirus, we need all of the tools we can get.
A mask itself is not going to be enough. A vaccine is not going to be enough. Social distancing is not going to be enough. Staying outdoors rather than indoors for gatherings is not going to be enough. But when you add all of these together, you have a powerful protection. And a mask is an important part of that powerful protection. Much of the protection comes from people who are wearing the mask, who don't cough and breathe on others. You're wearing a mask as a patriotic duty to others. You're wearing a mask so other people don't become infected. That's as much the issue as whether you become infected from not wearing the mask. But it can protect you too, as can social distancing.
Atlanta City Council members Antonio Brown and Andre Dickens take part in the Urban League of Greater Atlanta's Youth Voting Summit webinar. The event was held with the goal of empowering young voters to cast their ballots and get involved in politics.
That's going to do it for this episode of Stay at Home Connect. We'll see you next time.
Hi, this is Jared Evans.
Oh, my goodness, that's loud. Okay. Yeah, no problem. Okay, it's 10:01, so I'm going to start the meeting. Good morning, everyone. My name is Madeline Archibong. I am the chair of the City Utilities Committee, and I am, with that, calling the meeting to order. Mr. Evans, would you do a roll call of the committee members, please?
Yes. Councilmember Boone.
Present.
Councilmember Hillis. Here. Councilmember Matskite. Here. Councilmember Shepard.
Present.
Councilmember Shook. Aye. Councilmember Winslow. All right, there are 6 present.
Okay, so Winslow, Ms. Winslow's not, and who else?
It's only Councilmember Winslow didn't respond. I believe she intends to be on the line, though.
Oh, yeah. I'll ask again. Thank you, everyone. We do have a quorum. And so, Mr. Evans, would you now read the remote meeting statement?
Certainly. This City Utilities Committee is being conducted remotely as advertised and in accordance with OCGA 50-14-1. The meeting will be conducted in conformance with Robert's Rules of Order and the Rules of Council as authorized by the City Code. The public may access the meeting by dialing 1-877-579-6743, conference ID 831-599-1256, which was noted on the Friday, October 23rd public meeting notice. The public may also view the meeting on Channel 26, the Council's homepage at citycouncil.atlantaga.gov, the City Council's YouTube channel, or the Council's Facebook and Twitter pages via @ATL All presentations are available on the Atlanta City Council City Utilities Committee presentation page. The agenda was published and made available Friday, October 23rd via atlantacityga.iqm2.com. Additionally, the public was able to submit comments via voicemail at 404-330-6057 between the hours of 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. the day before this meeting. These comments will be played during the public comment portion of this meeting. All persons present on the remote council meeting conference bridge are requested to mute your phones and speakers. Additionally, speakers must be acknowledged by the presiding officer prior to speaking. Each council member is requested to open your Outlook email and minimize the screen. Amendments, substitutes, and informational documents have been distributed to committee members beforehand. Thank you all in advance for your cooperation.
All right, thank you very much for that. The next order of business is the adoption of the agenda, and I will entertain a motion. This is an electronic vote.
So moved.
Okay, I think I heard Mr. Hillis make the motion. Mr. Shook seconded that motion. If there are no questions, please open that vote.
The vote is open.
Is Ms. Winslow on the line? Ms. Winslow?
Ms. Archibald, should you put me as a yay?
Yes, please. Ms. Shepard as a yes.
Ms. Winslow may not have joined us. It is 6 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you. That's unanimous. And next, I'll entertain a motion for the approval of the minutes.
So moved, Shook.
Thank you. Thank you. And properly moved and seconded. Please open the vote.
The vote is open. The vote is closed. 6 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you. It stands approved. Next, we move to public comment, section F. Do you have any public comment?
There were no public comments today.
All right. Thank you very much. Moving next to the consent agenda, Mr. Evans.
Item number 1, 20-01673, an ordinance by City Utilities Committee authorizing the Chief Financial Officer to amend the FY 2021 water and wastewater renewal and extension budget in the amount of $110,000.00 to transfer funds from the watershed project reserve for appropriations and add funds to the Pool Creek study and for other purposes. That is the only first read item.
All right, thank you very much. Moving to regular section 8, ordinances for second reading. Mr. Evans.
Item number 2, 20-01621, an ordinance by City Utilities Committee to waive the joint venture notary requirement contained in section 2-1450, requirement for joint ventures, subsection C, article 10 of the Procurement and Real Estate Code of the City of Atlanta Code of Ordinances, and to authorize the mayor or her designee on behalf of the Department of Watershed Management to execute an agreement with PC Lewis, a joint venture comprised of PC Construction Company and Lewis Contracting Services, LLC, for IFBC 1200270, Chattahoochee River Intake Pump Station, in an amount not to exceed $49,960,000.00. All services will be charged to and paid from the fund department, organization, and account number listed and for other purposes.
All right, thank you. I understand Mr. Rob Bacaro will speak to us about this. Is he muted?
I'm confirming.
Hi, good morning. Can you hear me, Madam Chair?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. So this is Rob Bacaro, Department of Watershed Management. The proposed Chattahoochee River Intake Pump Station project involves the construction of a new 90 million gallon per day pump station. It will replace the existing aged Peachtree pump station that conveys raw water directly from the Chattahoochee River intake to the water supply tunnel and storage system that supplies our water treatment plants at Hemphill and Chattahoochee, and also the quarry storage facility. The new 90 MGD pump station has been designed and will be constructed to allow for the future expansion to 200 million gallons per day. 3 responsive bids were received for the Chattahoochee River Intake Pump Station IFB C1200-270. The evaluation committee recommended that the contract be awarded to the PC Lewis joint venture in the amount of $49,960,000. The bidder met all the requirements in terms of qualifications and experience. Watershed Management has previously had contracts successfully completed with both contractors. We have not had previous performance issues. So under the legislation, substantial and financial completion days have been corrected to 549 days and 621 days, respectively. We respectfully request a waiver of the notary requirement in the code. The contractor had inadvertently omitted a notarized joint venture agreement. If there are any questions, I'll be happy to take them.
Colleagues, or any questions? I don't see.
Move approval, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair, there's an amendment to this in your packet that changes the substantial and final completion dates.
I move that we amend to incorporate, and the amendment has been passed out to everyone, so I move.
Second, Madam Chair.
Okay, any questions? If not, let's open that vote, please.
The vote is open.
Ms. Winslow? Ms. Boone? All right, I think that's everyone.
Yes.
Okay. No, I didn't see your vote, but it's there.
I'm told Ms. Winslow is on the line.
Hello?
It's,
She might be muted.
In any case, this will be 6 yeas and 0 nays at the moment.
All right, thank you. The paper before us. I have a question for Mr. Vaccaro. The waiver of the notarization, and this may be for a different reason at in other cases, but I'm just wondering, either we don't need the notarization or we do need it. So can you help me understand this a little bit better?
Yeah, normally a notary is required when the joint ventures sign the joint venture agreement. It was inadvertently omitted, and again, if there's somebody from procurement available, but I understand that this is sometimes this is has not taken place, and
right.
So I think again we respectfully it should have been done, but if we were to not award the contract now, then it would take many months to go through the whole process again. So
and I know this is more so I can ask the questions too in the interest of time. So, colleagues, are there any other questions or any questions? If not, open the vote.
One moment.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, could you please repeat the mover and seconder?
I believe it was Mr. Shook and Mr. Mazikite in some order.
All right, the vote is
on Mazikite.
Ms. Winslow, how do you vote? All right, I think that's everyone.
The vote is closed. It's 6 yeas and 0 nays.
All right, that's unanimous. The paper now moves to FEC. Next paper, please.
Madam Chair, we actually need to take a vote to refer.
When don't we have to take a vote to refer?
If it's been referred already in the process, say if the council president had made it a dual refer item.
All right, I'm on. Yes, Madam Chair, I'm sorry, I was having phone problems.
Okay.
I'm on. I just couldn't vote. I heard everything.
So do we can reconsider? So
okay. For the last two, I wanted to be noted as voting in favor for reconsideration.
Well, this is the first paper that we've voted. The other one was the first read.
Okay, I got you. Okay.
So I make that motion to reconsider.
I need a second by Winslow.
I don't know if you can second, but
I can't. Okay, I wasn't even in the space.
Thank you, Mr. Mazikite has seconded. If there's no discussion, we'll have to vote on the motion to reconsider 20-0-1621.
The vote is open.
And is the vote closed? Ms. Winslow, how do you vote on that? I don't know if you can vote on it.
In favor?
Okay.
In favor?
Mr. Shook?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Is the vote closed?
Yes, it is. The vote is
Okay.
unanimous.
Yes, sir. Thank you. So now the paper is back before us. Entertain a motion to adopt as amended or to approve as amended.
Shook and moved.
Shook, so moved.
Second, Matsky.
Thank you. It's been properly moved and seconded. If there's no other discussion, let's open up the vote, please. And Ms. Winslow, how do you vote? Ms. Winslow, how do you vote?
In favor.
Thank you very much. And how do I vote? I forgot to vote.
The vote is closed. 7 yeas and 0 nays.
All right. Thank you. Now I make a motion to refer this. Has that motion to refer, does that end, or do we have to come back? Or have we done that yet?
That hasn't been done just yet.
I'll make that motion to refer to FEC. Need a second?
Second, Matsky.
I think Mr. Shook got there first. If there's no discussion, let's open the vote on the motion to refer this paper to FEC.
The vote is open.
Winslow, how do you vote?
In favor.
Thank you.
The vote is closed. 7 yeas, 0 nays.
All right, it's unanimous, and it moves to SEC. Next item, please.
Item number 3, 20-01622, an ordinance by City Utilities Committee authorizing the Chief Financial Officer to amend the FY 2021 Water and Wastewater Renewal Extension Fund budget in the amount of $5 million, 0 cents, to transfer funds from the Watershed Reserve for appropriations and add funding to the Chattahoochee River Intake Pump Station project and for other purposes.
Mr. Bocaro again.
Yeah, Rob Bacaro, Watershed Management. Previously, Council has approved $45 million for this project. So this legislation is to approve an additional $5 million so that we can fully fund the project.
Shook moves approval.
Second, Matsky.
Thank you. I was on mute. All right. Thank you very much. If there's no discussion, please open the vote. Ms. Winslow, how do you vote?
In favor.
Thank you. Oh.
The vote is closed. 7 yeas and 0 nays.
All right. That's unanimous and stands approved. Next item.
Item number 4, 20-01623, an ordinance by City Utilities Committee correcting ordinance 18-01775, adopted by the Atlanta City Council on January 7, 2019, and approved by operation of law per City Charter Section 2-403 on January 16, 2019, deleting the incorrect reference to contract number FC 8372, inserting the correct contract number FC 9383, correcting code section reference 2-19111 to section 2-1191.1 and for other purposes.
Move approval, Shook. Second, Matsky.
Thank you. Colleagues, do you have any questions? If no one hits their speaker button, we'll be ready to open the vote. I don't see anyone. All right, thank you, Ms. Winslow. Thank you. Ms. Winslow, how do you vote?
In favor.
All right, thank you.
The vote is closed. It's 7 yeas and 0 nays.
All right, thank you. That's unanimous. Moving now to resolutions. First item, please.
Item number 5, 20-R4517, a resolution by City Utilities Committee authorizing the mayor to execute a consent order with the Environmental Protection Division, Department of Natural Resources of the State of Georgia, EPD, and to authorize payment pursuant to the consent order in the amount of $201,600.00 to resolve permit compliance violations, including unpermitted discharges, effluent permit limit exceedances, and major spills from January 2018 through June 2020 and for other purposes.
Mr. Hill?
Good morning, Todd Hill, Department of Watershed Management. The purpose of this legislation is to address the consent order received from the Environmental Protection Division on September 3rd, 2020. The consent order includes NPDES permit violations for the period of January 1, 2018 through June 30th, 2020, and includes the fine of $201,600. Some of the background on this, the consent order summarizes major spills greater than 30,000 gallons, outfall spills, and permit effluent limits violations that occurred during this time period. During this period, January 1, 2018 through June 30th, 2020, the Department of Watershed Management has experienced an overall decrease in major spills, outfall spills, and permit effluent violations. And to summarize this over each year during this period, from June 1st, 2018 through December 31st, 2018, there were 15 major spills, 14 outfall spills, and 48 permit effluent violations. And that's a 7-month period. For the whole year of 2019, we had 9 major spills, 15 outfall spills, and 70 permit effluent violations. And then for the 6-month period from January 1st through June 30th of 2020, we've only had 2 major spills, 2 outfall spills, and 16 permit effluent violations. And on the outfall spills and the permit effluent violations, a lot of this has been a result of the increased biosolids that we had because we didn't have landfill capacity to haul our biosolids to the landfill. And we've corrected a lot of those problems through other measures, and that's resulted in a decrease over these years. And to kind of put it in perspective, for the last consent order, it was it was a larger number of violations and had a fine of $365,513, and that went from September 1st, 2015 through December 31st, 2017, so it's about the same time period. Basically, once this is approved, it will go to public comment for 30 days, and then after the public comment, we'll have 90 days to pay the Department of Natural Resources the fine. I'm willing to entertain any questions that anybody has.
All right, Mr. Mazzucati.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to move approval, but also thank Mr. Hill and the Department of Watershed Management for their efforts to reduce these spills. I would like to request that the facts and figures that you just gave, and if you could provide them for the last several years, Mr. Hill, that you send that to this committee as reference. Thank you very much.
We'll be glad to.
All right. Any other? I don't see any other speaker buttons. Did you negotiate, or whoever? Did we negotiate to try to get the fine lower than the $201,000+?
No, ma'am. What we do is we actually go through and compare. First off, we verify that all the violations that they list are accurate, and then we go through and compare those to previous fines that have been issued in the past, and just make sure it's trued up to make sure that we are not overpaying for any violations or paying for violations that we did not have.
Okay. All right. So thank you very much. Mr. Fahy, move. Go ahead.
Yes, I'm sorry. Thank you. So why is this styled as a consent order and instead of a more off-the-rack fine format?
Every quarter we present to you, to the CUC, our violations that we had for compliance, these are regular violations. You do have your stipulated penalties for the water control facilities, such where we have a stipulated fine that's set in stone on what the amount is based on what the penalty is, and those we pay immediately once we notify EPD. These are the fines for all the fines for as the plants have violations for effluent limits, or we have outfall spills, or we have a major spill greater than 30,000 where they look at those and issue fines for those. And it's just a regular occurrence. We have worked with EPD on shortening the period because the previous two consent orders before went from 2009 to 2015. And so we've worked with EPD, and we're trying to get it on an annual basis where we actually resolve all these permit violations and paying our fines.
Could you give me a little more background on the extent to which a lack of landfill space resulted in, not being able to accommodate biosolids and the role that played in this?
What happens is when we cannot remove the biosolids from the system because there's not landfill space, and basically landfills take a combination of dry items, dry waste, and semi-dry waste, which would be a biosolid, which is wetter, and for stability purposes in the landfill. There have been several landfills that had failures because they were taking too many items that had too much liquid in it. And that resulted in a loss of landfill space available. This was a statewide issue that's common throughout for all the utilities that we've been working with EPD on. And that's why we went to get an approval for Class A biosolids that allowed us to do land application of our biosolids, which has allowed us to actually reduce the amount of biosolids in the system. What happens is when you have biosolids built up in the system and you have a heavy rain, it's going to cause an outfall spill because you're going to have a higher level of total suspended solids that leave the plant. Also, when you have heavy biosolids, it affects the pH in the system, and so we'll have pH levels that do not fall within the parameters of our permit. I hope that clarifies it some. It's a little complex problem.
Okay. You got my thing about the flyers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So it's without the logo, right?
Excuse me, Ms. Winslow? Ms. Winslow? Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. Were these self-reported events?
Report immediately when we have a limit that's out of compliance.
Okay. What was there? Do we know if there was any, environmental damage as a result of any or all of these spills?
We do not have any reports of any environmental damage. I mean, we are just reporting that we're out of compliance. We did not have fish kills, etc., because of effluent violations at the plant.
All right. Final question, and so there's evidently some more process, including a public comment period. But then, when this transaction occurs, does that extinguish this consent order?
Correct. We will have met the conditions of the consent order once we pay the fine.
All right. Thank you, Madam Chair.
All right. And in addition to that, you've taken the remedial steps to address it to prevent it from moving forward to the best of our ability.
Oh, yes. Working on our systems to improve them to reduce violations.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's important to be said and obviously to be done. So if there are no other questions, I think we've had a motion and it's been seconded. Let's open the vote.
Could you repeat the seconder? I have a motion from Masterkite, and I'm not sure about a second.
I thought it was Mr. Shook, but am I right?
Yeah, Shook. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
The vote is open.
Thank you. Ms. Winslow, how do you vote?
Ms. Winslow? Yes, I'm sorry. In favor?
Thank you very much.
Ms. Boone? Okay.
Yes, thank you. Ms. Boone? Oh, no, okay. I see your vote, thank you. No, I see your vote. It was just a little delayed.
All right, the vote is closed. It's 7 yeas and 0 nays.
Thank you. That stands approved. It was unanimous. Next item, please.
Item number 6, 20R4518, a resolution by City Utilities Committee authorizing the mayor or her designee to execute an agreement for RFP S1200282 Green Infrastructure Design Challenge, Continental Colony Elementary School with Star White House Landscape Architects and Planners, PLLC, for professional design services on behalf of the Department of Watershed Management for a term of 90 days and an amount not to exceed $139,440.00. All contracted work will be charged to and paid from the fund, department, organization, and account numbers listed and for other purposes.
All right, thank you. Mr. Hill again.
Todd Hill, Department of Watershed Management. This is one of the 5 GI Design Challenge sites. As you probably are aware from previous legislation on the other sites, the Green Infrastructure Design Challenge was a new way of actually bringing in other talent to actually provide a conceptual design and cost estimate for the construction cost of a green infrastructure project that addresses some of the flooding issues in areas throughout the city. And this one is unique because it is at Continental Colony Elementary School, which allows it to also have a public education impact for the students of the school to learn more about green infrastructure and stormwater management. Another unique thing of the Green Infrastructure Design Challenge is it requires each team to have a member of the local community as part of their team, which means that you get the expertise from a local community member that's actually being paid to provide their advice on how this project is designed, which is very helpful to include the community. As was stated in the legislation, the winner is Star White House Landscape Architects and Planners, and they provided an excellent design conceptual design that actually we're getting part of the design free, because normally we would be paying for our conceptual design. I'm willing to address any questions that you may have.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Schutt, moves approval. Anyone want a second?
Second, Matt McKay.
Thank you very much, sir. This sounds like a very interesting project. I hope you'll keep us updated as it is implemented.
We'll be glad to.
Awesome. If there is no other unreadiness, please open the vote.
The vote is open.
Ms. Winslow, how do you vote?
In favor?
Okay. Mr. Hillis? Okay.
The vote is closed. It is 7 yeas and 0 nays.
All right, it's unanimous as well. Thank you. Do we have any papers coming off held today?
Yes, items number 13 and 14 can come off together.
All right, please.
All right, item number 13, 20R4433, a resolution by City Utilities Committee to amend Resolution 20R3417, adopted on February 17, 2020 by the Atlanta City Council and approved by operation of law per City Charter, Section 2-403 on February 26, 2020, authorizing the mayor or her designee to exercise renewal option 2 with Ashbridge Inc. for FC 8392C for emergency on-call services for debris removal as needed on-call emergency services for the Department of Public Works, to add Solid Waste Fund Department Organization Account Center 5401 130532 521 2001 458500 and for other purposes. And item number 14, 20R4434, a resolution by City Utilities Committee to amend Resolution 20R3418, adopted on March 2nd, 2020 by the Atlanta City Council and approved by operation of law, the City Charter, Section 2-403, on March 11th, 2020, authorizing the city to enter into renewal option 2 with Ceres Environmental Services for FC 8392A for emergency on-call services for debris removal as needed, on-call emergency services on behalf of the Department of Public Works, and to add Solid Waste Fund Department organizations and account centers listed and for other purposes.
All right, thank you. Is Ms. Braswell on the phone?
I am. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Rita Braswell, Department of Public Works. As stated, the purpose of the legislation is to add the funding stream to solid waste services to the contract. These contracts are the emergency debris removal contracts. When first authorized in 2015, the authorized funding stream was that of only of the Office of Transportation, and this legislation adds the funding stream for solid waste so that we can use the contract under emergency services.
All right, colleagues, any questions?
So moves approval of both.
Thank you.
Second, Madam Chair.
Winslow, second. We'll let Ms. Winslow second it. Thank you. If there's no other unreadiness, please open the vote.
The vote is open. The vote is closed at 7 yeas and 0 nays.
All right, that stands approved. Thank you very much. Ms. Braswell, are you still on the line?
I am, yes.
Okay. Just wanted to know if we're on track with the yard trimming pickup. Has that been restored fully, or where are we with that?
It has been restored somewhat fully. We are still using our in-house crews to address, and depending upon their attendance, I believe today we are on track. Sometimes there will be delays of the route, but by and large, yes, we are.
Okay. All right, thank you. And colleagues, you were supposed to hear from DPW with their quarterly report, but we're going to hear from them on November 10th. Is that correct, Ms. Braswell?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. Looking forward to it. All right. I don't see anyone with the speaker button. Are there any other matters to be considered by the committee today?
There are no further legislative items.
All right, colleagues, any comments? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. And thank you all very much.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Great meeting.
All right.
Thank you, Madam.
Thank you. Next time, let's not take so long. But anyway, thank you all. Have a good morning. We're adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair.